They called me greedy. They said I worked too much to matter. They laughed when I refused another Sunday brunch. "You're always at the office. Why bother?" they said. I smiled politely, nodded, and let it slide. I was family, after all, and family forgives. Or so I believed, until I saw it. I remember the exact moment. The gleam of my car in the driveway, that cherry red Porsche I had bought with the money I earned myself. A car that symbolized my effort, my sacrifice. And there they were, my own blood, loading luggage into the back seat, boarding a flight to Miami, waving, smiling, while I worked. My money, my car, my time. They treated it like charity, like I was some ATM with legs. Shock settled in first, then anger, then clarity. They thought I didn't notice. They thought I wouldn't act. They were wrong. I remembered the childhood birthdays I had forgotten because I had deadlines. The graduations I had skipped, the calls unanswered. I had loved them anyway, and they repaid me with theft, entitlement, and mockery. The betrayal was exquisite in its audacity. It took days before I let myself breathe. I replayed the footage in my head, their laughter as they posed beside my car, the casual thanks tossed over their shoulders like a bone to a dog. Every frame was a spark in the fire I would feed for weeks. I didn't act immediately, not out of mercy, out of calculation. I needed the perfect strike. I observed quietly, waited, took note of every move, every transaction. Their bank account, their vacation fund. I had legal access. They never bothered to ask about my financial management tools, my oversight. Everything was transparent, in their favor. They assumed I was blind. I wasn't. Step 1, disable the $15,000 transfer. They had booked their excursions, their hotel upgrades, even those overpriced spa treatments, all on my dime. They wouldn't notice until the last minute. That's the beauty of timing. Step 2, leave breadcrumbs. Not enough to alert suspicion, just a gentle hint that someone was watching. A casual, "Oh, did the transfer go through?" text, which I never answered. Subtle panic started to creep in. I could hear it in their voices during the occasional calls, the veiled guilt in every word. Step 3, wait. Watch them squirm. Watch them strategize, make excuses, blame each other. The prideful smiles faded. They called me frantically from Miami trying to patch together the missing payment. Every plea was a performance I watched with quiet satisfaction. The day of reckoning arrived in the lobby of the hotel. I walked in with the calm of a man who had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times. They saw me, their faces draining of color, mouths opening and closing like fish out of water. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. Silence was sharper than any scream. You did this?" my sister finally choked out, eyes wide, desperate. I nodded slightly, as if I had merely noticed a small detail, like the color of the carpet. "Yes," I said. Short, controlled, final. Then the floodgates opened. Their panic, their pleas, their gasps, they all spilled out. They tried to justify, to charm, to manipulate. Nothing worked. Not a word, not a tear, not a smile. They were powerless. My money, my choice, my rules. I watched them, squirming in the marble lobby, begging for something I had no intention of giving. The world saw a quiet, composed man. They saw me as someone rational, fair. They didn't see the storm underneath, the satisfaction simmering just below the surface. I had taken the moral high ground in public. Privately, I relished their discomfort. I had turned their entitlement into humiliation, their greed into fear, and it was perfect. When it was over, I left the hotel without a word. No confrontation, no threats. Just a slow, deliberate walk out into the sunlight, feeling the weight of betrayal lift from my shoulders. They would survive, of course. They always do. But they would remember the lesson. And that was enough. Back in my office, I poured a glass of whiskey. No one could touch me here. Not financially, not emotionally. I thought of my car sitting safely in the driveway, untouched by their hands. I thought of my vacation fund, untouched by their greed. I thought of the smug, entitled smiles that had once mocked me, now forever replaced by humility and regret. I worked hard. I earned every penny, and I protected what was mine. Family doesn't always forgive. Sometimes family learns. And today, they learned.